No one would have ever expected that a company like MV Agusta, always specialized in luxury supersport motorcycles, would one day decide to expand its range by aiming for a 21-inch front wheel. Well, it's the case of the Enduro Veloce, the latest innovation from the Varese-based company that enters an extremely competitive market where it's not just the performance that obviously dictates the ranking rules, but it's the riding experience, the usability effectiveness, the riding position, and the correct use of the 21-inch front wheel, always supported by good electronics. Let's go discover it together and I'll tell you how it goes. We are in the south of Sardinia, the best place with the best road to test the new star from Varese. Familiar with Italian brand's art, designed to excite and amaze, this Enduro's arrival signifies a significant change in direction for the works of art that have always been within the realm of the brand. The Enduro Veloce is the realization of the LXP Orioli version, made in only 500 pieces. This one instead opens up to a broader market, appealing to refined tastes and motorcyclists who had never considered MV Agusta until now. We enter the core of this test after traversing slightly more than 100 kilometers, experiencing an intriguing flavor, and my initial priority is the riding position. Furthermore, it is worth mentioning that the bike is not only easy to handle, but it also lifts easily. The stand, which is easily reachable without any problems, proves to be very useful when considering scenarios where the bike might be used with a passenger and even with luggage. The luggage, equipped with practically invisible and very nice supports, is well integrated within the bike system, enhancing its overall functionality and convenience during rides. The seating position is convincing with good triangulation, as the seat is positioned at 870 mm. I must say that it is also quite easy to reach due to the fact that the central area between the seat and the tanks is rather slim, allowing for a true and solid contact with the ground. Additionally, it can be lowered to 850 mm, providing an extra advantage for individuals who are not very tall in stature. I always remember him being 1.78 mm tall, but the way the bike is configured in this condition, I must say I really like it for the triangulation. You are well protected, the leg has a not too closed angle, which means comfort for long distances, wide and just right handlebar, close enough upright torso, and this is a good sign of how MV Agusta has worked, accustomed to treating bikes with clip-on handlebars, taking into great consideration the theme of comfort. Improvable since we are talking about the riding position. In my opinion, the wind protection is a bit lacking because the windshield is not adjustable. And today, in my opinion, it is an essential element in purchasing a motorcycle of this category, possibly even adjustable with one hand while in motion, although there are manufacturers that opt out of this option. The wind protection is more than decent. I would not say it is one of the most protective bikes I have ridden lately. However, at 130 km/h, which is the speed we maintained in certain points, the helmet's peak, the high visor is intercepted by the airflow and is a bit annoying. Therefore, one thing to definitely note is the need for greater protection against the wind to enhance the overall riding experience. The three-cylinder engine is truly new, a platform on which the foundations of new road models will almost certainly be based. 3 inline cylinders of 931 symmetry, counter-rotating crankshaft and removable gearbox, this time on the right side, racing derivation. Declared power of 124 HP at 10,000 RPM and 102 Nm of maximum torque at 7,000 RPM. Performance that can only be described as exaggerated with a top speed of 240 km/h and a 0-100 time of just 3.7 seconds. 4 riding modes: urban, touring, off-road, and custom all-terrain, fully customizable with full ride-by-wire throttle control. Very interesting values because they obviously represent, once again, the way in which the Italian house distinguishes itself from the competition, doing so with an engine that is probably the most performing in this category without a shadow of a doubt. I recommend you, if you feel like being intoxicated by an emotional engine, to definitely listen to the sound. What would I have expected in terms of the engine? Meanwhile, I point out that it reaches 10,000 RPM. It does so without major issues. Indeed, it has a nice power delivery at the top end, but in my opinion, it somewhat distorts the concept that should accompany this type of motorcycle and this sector in particular. That is, it is an engine that operates, has a smooth response at lower revolutions, even the mid-range is not exceptional, and it exerts too much force at higher levels. The reflection that emerged chatting with MV Agusta technicians is that I would like an engine that is generally used at a lower speed, because today in the routes we have taken up to this point, and those who know the south of Sardinia know exactly what I'm talking about, between coastal roads and inland areas with slow, tight, open curves, but from third to fourth gear, where essentially you can play with the throttle, the usage range remains clearly between 4,000 and 6,000 RPM, and beyond that is very rare. This indicates that the potential for higher rotational speed is essentially rarely utilized or taken advantage of. In all of this, I include a consideration that arises from the use of the motorcycle at present, which I have primarily used for touring, thus requiring maximum power with a slightly more abundant delivery. I observe a discrepancy between my request on the accelerator and the response provided by the engine, which is not perfectly aligned. Frequently, the end result is almost oversized, a response that is sometimes excessive, as if the throttle and engine were not effectively communicating one-on-one, resulting in a loss of some of that driving feel, because in certain circumstances the engine is still a bit too performance-oriented compared to the overall logic and intended purpose of this family-oriented vehicle, which can detract from the desired driving experience. When it comes to mappings, I definitely had a preference for the touring option, which was the most comprehensive and less stifled in comparison to the urban version. I tested both levels of engine braking, but I actually prefer it to be a bit looser. Therefore, I decided to reduce it to level 1 and also keep the traction control at level 2 in order to observe the behavior of the tire department, specifically referring to the original road tires in this scenario and how the chassis would subsequently respond. The double cradle steel perimeter frame combines a fully mechanical and multi-adjustable suspension system. In front, a substantial 48mm diameter fork, and at the rear, the mono. Additionally, it is fully customizable in adjustments and is paired with a progressive linkage. Both saxophones are marked with a 210mm excursion measurement. Sax suspensions, mechanical, 48mm fork, fully adjustable with 210mm travel. Same characteristics for the monoshock absorber, always Sax, 210mm travel with progressive leveling. Clearly, we are discussing an MV Agusta motorcycle with all the indications in terms of DNA and sportiness that are inevitably and inherently part of the motorcycles that come straight from ski run, showcasing the true essence and spirit of this renowned brand. It is a motorcycle that, when on the road, displays a particularly sporty attitude. There is minimal weight transfer during braking and acceleration because the basic setup ensuring stability and enhancing performance. The Enduro Veloce excels in curve handling, offering impressive stability and smooth traction when taking fast curves. The strong points of this bike include its ability to maintain stability in any condition and provide seamless traction when exiting curves. As mentioned earlier, the traction control on 2 provides imperceptible intervention with minimal light flashes. Overall, the chassis of the Enduro Veloce is solid, ensuring a reliable and enjoyable riding experience. The matter of weight still persists. I do not regard it as a highly lightweight motorcycle. This is evident despite having a counter-rotating crankshaft, which effectively counteracts the gyroscopic effects of the wheels and diminishes the sluggishness in leaning. In my view, it is not a particularly speedy motorcycle, indicating that it is not excessively rapid in leaning into a curvy, and simultaneously, it is not exceptionally swift in accelerating either. The onboard electronics confirm how much attention MV Agusta puts into performance management, in addition to the already mentioned riding modes, traction control with 8 levels, 2 dedicated to engine braking, not to mention cruise control, wheelie control, and a braking system with deactivatable ABS for off-road riding. The Enduro Veloce, when taken far from the asphalt, doesn't hold back, in this case equipped with dedicated and well-treaded tires. With the suspension freed in hydraulics, seeking adventure. Good triangulation while riding, even standing up, helps manage the front end. Clearly, the high-performance character of the engine, designed to rev high, is not the best travel companion in a context where the famous low, pull, and torque, the first throttle opening, are crucial to face every obstacle or unexpected situation. We have come to the end of this initial contact with the MV Agusta Enduro Veloce motorcycle, concluding our assessment of its performance and features. There is a bit of regret in departing from such a marvelous location like the southern part of Sardinia, where the impeccable roads genuinely make you never want to cease, and the Enduro Veloce on the road provides you with that pleasant sensation of a motorcycle that truly doesn't hold back in a stunning asphalt environment where there is driving to be performed. MV Agusta always introduces a completely new motorcycle with a new engine, chassis, and ideas in a highly competitive sector. Experts acknowledge that the three-cylinder engine, with its sporty soul, sets MV Agusta apart from the predominantly twin-cylinder competition. Triumph is the only other brand with a three-cylinder engine, but it has been intentionally redesigned to resemble a twin-cylinder. Consequently, MV Agusta's alignment with the logic of the competition is not yet perfect. Some might even describe it as a big motard, given its unique characteristics. Despite the challenges, MV Agusta remains determined to carve its own path and make a mark in the industry with its innovative approach and distinctive offerings. A bit heavy, very generous in terms of stability and comfort in riding, especially in the seat and triangulation, and a bit less, as I mentioned at the beginning, in terms of wind protection. Well, it is a good starting point. At this juncture, however, in the process of analyzing the competition, I cannot help but wonder if this Enduro Veloce, which will have a purchase price that is still unknown to us, is rather high in price and may be lacking some elements that are necessary for it to truly be a 100% protagonist. I make reference to specific electronic devices like front and rear radar systems that are currently present on a large number of market leaders in the industry. The semi-active suspensions, another advantageous feature in the touring motorcycle sector, as opposed to an adjustable windshield, which is a necessity for individuals who decide to embark on a travel adventure, provide enhanced stability and comfort during long rides. At this point, the question is a bit open. I leave the considerations to you. If you want to share my thoughts with me, write to us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it ASAP. I look forward to your questions and comments below and see you in the next video. Hello.